Okay, guys, I'm gonna try this again. Let me make sure that the volume's up. Again, thank you for being patient. I think that was like my laptop. This is my phone, which has much better reception. So anyway, again, happy full moon, everybody. The full moon is in Taurus, and the moon loves to be in Taurus. The full moon loves to be in Taurus, or the moon rather loves to be in Taurus, because this is where the moon is exalted. Hey Liz, so glad that you're on. Hopefully this, runs smoothly this time. It's like a practice run or something. So yeah, so anyway, the moon loves to be in Taurus. And the reason why the moon loves to be in Taurus is because, well, first of all, the moon is always like, and this is what I was showing before, this is the moon. Right? Like the moon, it's just a phase. So the moon, which is our inner world, it's of course, it's our emotions, it's the fluid, it's everything that's hidden, right? It's the unconscious. It's always changing. It's just a phase. It starts out, with nothing, and then it grows and swells, and then it comes back again. So it's all of this instability, and so Taurus, is an earth sign, and it's a fixed earth sign, and and Taurus is is big bodied, it's full body, it's like Taurus comes in and says, Taurus, like one of the things about Taurus is like the couch. It's like when you just luxuriate and just chill, Netflix and chill on the couch. And so of course the moon loves this, because the moon is like, it's like, it can rest. It can just be like, and that's what the gift of this full moon in Taurus is bringing, is this presence. 2 weeks ago at the new moon, which was in Libra, Libra's an air sign. So 2 weeks ago, we were planting this seed, this slate, this clean slate, had been made, this opportunity for us to plant some seeds when it comes to our relationships, and what we love, and whether it's a romantic relationship, the relationship, with our children, with our jobs, with our career, with our health, with our body, with our family, with whatever, with ourselves, but Libra is an air sign. So it functions in the realm of the mind, of logic, and of ideas and communication, so it can be very, very heady, and so, which is a great tool, like we need all of these aspects of life, all of the different elements, the air element, the water element, the earth element, and the fire element, okay? But Taurus, which is where this full moon, it is tonight, and I went outside last night, and oh my God, she is just like boom, it's just so beautiful. And that's what it's reminding us, is it's saying, all right, like I get that what you think you want for your relationship, but get in your body, and what is your body telling you, and what are your physical needs telling you? And another reason why this is so wonderful too is, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, Netflix and chill, right? So, Jazzy, yeah, I'm reading you, another Aquarius brother, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not about talking. It's about being right now. It's about presence, and so, so full moons, all right, it's the moon. The full moon, the moon is in Taurus, but the sun is in Scorpio, and we've also got Jupiter, a big planet in Scorpio, so, which is a water sign, and so what's happening right now, this full moon, yes, is, this is a monthly cycle, every month we have the full moon, and then we have these other planets that are on bigger, larger cycles, right? So this whole year of 2017, was really fiery. It's a fire year. We had Uranus in Aries, Saturn in Sagittarius, the North Node in Leo. So this trine, okay, these three planets, these three spaces, is bringing lots of fire. So it's like tons of excitement and thrill and like blazing and purification, like to the max, you know, like my girlfriend Liz, rings of fire for sure, you know, and so it's like rah, 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 you know, and what can happen with fire is it burns out, it can burn out, right? But now that we've got, you know, Jupiter has just moved into Scorpio, and Saturn and Uranus are going to be moving out of those air signs into earth signs. So the terrain is really going to shift by December, and even more so as we get into 2018, because we're going to be having all of this earthy, watery vibe. So everything that's been purified, you know, from all of the fire and all of the new connections and excitement and getting in touch with our spirit, you know, and our thrill and our self-belief, now it can actually be nurtured, you know, because there's, you know, you can, like with a seed, just like the new moon that, you know, we had, it's a seed, right? And so these seeds, all of these little seeds that we've been planting and getting in touch with, well, I want to plant this and I want to do that. And I, you know, all this newness and this freshness, because fire, remember, it's like that. It's here and it, you know, it's like that. So, but it needs to be nurtured in order for it to grow, or it will die out. It will burn out. And so that's what this full moon is really tuning us into, because, you know, so going back to Scorpio, which is where the sun is right now, you know, Scorpio is, you know, and Jupiter there too, right? So it's bringing all of the feels. Like if you go through your social media feeds, or even like listening to people, what is up is it's all the feels. Everybody's talking about feelings and everything that's been hidden, like the feelings that you have about your sex life, you know, the feelings you have about your relationships, the family secrets nobody wants to talk about, all the skeletons in the closet, all of the desires, all of the, you know, the longings and like, you know, the shame, all of these things. Now Jupiter, so imagine a closet that when, you know, we shame stuff or we don't want to see it, you know, because it's Scorpio, right? It's in the dark, it's hidden, and it's scary, you know, so we push it in a closet, right? And we're like, oh, we don't have anything, nothing, you know, I don't have anything like that. And then Jupiter comes in like this big gas giant, like, let's blow the walls out over here. And then what happens is like everything comes tumbling out, right? And so you now have to like, it's like you have to, if you see it and you feel it, you know? And so, you know, so that's going on. We've got all of these feels of all of this stuff, you know, and Taurus, this moon comes in and says, I understand that you're thinking with, you know, with all the Libra new moon and what you think and what your mind wants to tell you and what logic wants to tell you. And I understand what you're feeling, but what is your body telling you? You know, have you forgotten what you have? Because Taurus's key words are, I have. So even though, you know, you may be feeling all of these like desires, or, you know, feeling, you know, bad about yourself, or like shameful for all of these feelings, Taurus says, wait a minute. It says, have you forgotten who you are? Have you forgotten your roots and the presence, you know, and that you are worthy, you know? And the only way that we can do this, though, is if we are connected to this body and if we are connected to this earth, you know. I had this amazing experience. Like I spent pretty much the good first part of my day just all by myself, which I don't get to do a lot of the time, or at least as much time as I spent today. But I cleared off like most of my day, actually the whole day, just so that I could really take in the gifts of this day and this moon. And so there's this flower that I've been seeing in my garden. But, you know, and every time I go outside and I see her and I'm like, hey, you know, but today I actually said, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to spend some time with her. So I go back over there And she's gone. I'm like, and every day she's been there, like popping up, you know, she wasn't there, okay? And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, that's curious. So I ended up spending time with the other plants, you know, outside, and more importantly, I spent time with myself. And so even though there was this, like, I wanted, you know, I desired her, I wanted to spend time with her, but she gave me the gift of not being there so that then I could give what it was that I wanted from her to myself. See, all the things that we desire, they're just symbols for something that's already in here. And that's what Taurus does, is Taurus says, why are you so focused over there on all the things that you don't have, or on all of these desires, you know, when you've got so much right here, you know, if you can invest in this. So some of the things that Taurus, you know, the keywords associated with Taurus is values, you know, so it's saying, what do you value? But then take it deeper and it says, well, if you really value that, how have you invested in that? So, for example, if I say I value my body, well, how have I invested in my body? You know, have I been listening to my body? Have I been feeding my body? If I say that, you know, I want to have a beautiful body, have I been doing the things that are going to appreciate this body? You know, or if I want more money, you know, how have I been, or for example, like with a house, you know, like the way that, or anything, a relationship, whatever it is that you say you value. But I'll give the example for a house because it's real easy. So when a house appreciates, how does that happen? Because you establish a relationship. You say, I value this home, I value this house, so I'm going to put money, I'm going to put my time, I'm going to put my effort, my sweat, my tears, my love into this. I'm going to build a relationship and say, I value this. And then once we do that, it appreciates in its worth. Not only it of course appreciates in its worth to us because we poured ourselves into it. But then it also becomes more valuable to other people because we've infused what we have into that. And that's the dance that Taurus wants us to do with ourselves, is say, whatever it is that you say that you love or that you value and you don't have it, is it you don't have it, or you just haven't invested in it and you've forgotten that everything that you need is already in here? So, and that's what this little flower, this beautiful flower, just reminded me of. And then it was like I got that gift even though the flower wasn't there. Like her presence, her energy, and that's the beautiful. And this is the same thing with, like, we just had Halloween and all, you know, the Day of the Dead and All Saints Day and our ancestors' days, and the people that aren't here with us anymore. You know, the people, or whether it's a person, a place, or a thing, it's a, you know, they're not here anymore, but they are, you know, like it's what they symbolize is still here with us, you know, and we can choose, like the master gardener. Taurus is the master gardener. It knows how to look at its garden and say, oh, let me pour, the grass is greener where you water it. Let me invest in this. Let me nurture this. Let me help its roots grow. Let's tap into its, and so we need this, you know, all of this attention to the physical, the material realm, which is Taurus, because Taurus is an earth sign. Okay, so it's all the materials. I don't know what you're laughing about, but ain't no shame in my sexy game. That's right. That's Taurus all the way, man. It's like, what are the needs of this body? You know, if you need more sex, give yourself sex. If you need more money, you know, you need to start investing. You need to start tending to that garden, you know, whatever it is that you're needing or you're wanting or you're desiring. That's the Scorpio, right? That's this feels that's up for everybody. It's saying, like, you know, if money or whatever it is that you want, you know, that you don't have, is was a person, how would you like it if that person was always, I need you, I want you, I need you, you know, and then when they do have you, it's like they don't even appreciate you, you know what I mean? So no, that's not what we do to somebody, you know, that we want or we desire. We appreciate them. We allow, like, so, like, just for example, with money, if I want more money, I want more money, like, we're never going to have the money, because why would money want to spend time with us if we're constantly needing it, you know? It's like, no, okay, I'm going to be a guardian. I'm going to be a custodian. I'm going to know how to make this better, make this more luscious, more by infusing my heart into it, you know? And then by doing that, we are, you know, creating this beautiful dance and this synergy together. So yeah, this is, I just kind of want to come back to my notes here. In the body, Taurus is all about the throat and the shoulders, and also all of the reproductive organs and the endocrine system. So because the ruler of Taurus, this light is like, whoa, is the ruler of Taurus is Venus, you know? So your blood sugar, your thyroid, your sex hormones. And with Taurus, because it's a fixed sign, meaning it's just like how it sounds, it's fixed. It doesn't move. It's like, it's so what can happen with, you know, and if this full moon is bringing to light Taurus, the archetype of Taurus in your life, which manifests in your body, and all of the things that we spoke about. This is the realm of Taurus. When you come into the moon in Taurus, you are entering this whole realm of Taurus and what it rules. So, and that's like, things can become stiff and stuck and stagnant, you know, if it's not flowing enough. I mean, there has to be some level, you know, of movement, of juice, of the love that says, you know, like, moves it through the body. So, you know, if you have any sort of tension or stuckness or stiffness in your neck or in your shoulders, or, you know, in those reproductive organs or in your endocrine system, then what we need to do is you need to infuse more life, you know, more of this juice, because Taurus is blood. Taurus is the presence. Blood meaning, blood is our liquid consciousness. It comes from our heart and it circulates, you know, the ability to nurture and to flow and to feel our feelings. So even though Taurus wants to be grounded and pay attention, it also needs to have like, all right, but how can I enjoy? So if you're like, you know, working really, really hard on what it is that you want, and in your garden, and you're, you know, you're going through the motions, and, you know, and that's part of what Taurus does too, is Taurus is all of the ingrained thought patterns. It's the habits. It's a habitual animal, that cow is, you know, it like chews its cud, hangs out in the, you know, in the grass and smells the flower. It does the same thing every day, you know, and this full moon is configured. The ruler of the full moon is Venus, and Venus is configured to Uranus, the change maker, the rebel wild card planet, and also to Saturn and Saturn. So there's these two aspects of one, of allowing us to break free and liberate and change, you know, whatever stuck ingrained thought patterns of relating and of what we value, you know, or what we think we value because that's what our parents value, that's what we've been doing our whole life, or it's in the subconscious, it's an ingrained thought pattern, right? But then also there's Saturn here, and Venus is having this conversation with both. She, on the one hand, she's saying, all right, how can we switch this up? How can we make this new? You know, but then at the same time, you know, but there's things here, there's like needs to be a foundation of what we can grow and build upon so we can have the stability. And so the other lesson, I was getting like all these great downloads today. I went to the gym and this great song by Chromeo came on, one of my favorite bands, and it's like If you think romance is getting old, find one jukebox full of 45s, pop a nickel in, and it all comes back. And I swear, that's like the whole essence. It's like, if something feels stuck and stagnant in your life, what is the tune? What is the song that is playing in the back of your head? I'm almost done, baby. Please close the door and come back, okay? What is, if you're, whatever it is that you love or value, if it's, that's not in alignment right now, if it's a relationship, it's your work, it's your job, it's your money, it's, your home, whatever it is, what song is it? What song's playing right now? If that was a song, what would it be? Think about that. And, so this is what the thing was. It's like, if you think it's getting old, find the music, find the joy, find the love again, what you really love, not what you were taught to love, what you think you love, what you feel, and pop a nickel in. You got to invest in it. It was like so beautiful. It's like, all right, pop that nickel in. The grass is greener where you water it. Pop that nickel in and it all comes back, And so it's like this interesting balance of being able to believe, and have that, because Uranus is a fiery motherfucker, man. Like, he will blow your house up. Literally, that's what Uranus does. It brings chaos and disrupt. It's like a lightning rod. It's hot, so it says, it breaks it up, and it's electrical and it's exciting, but at the same time, like, you can't have that all the time, because then it's like, like you burn yourself out. So you got to have that, also, some sort of groove, something that you can be grounded and that you can move to, that solidness that Saturn brings and says, but what's going to last? Like, I get that that's exciting, and I get, or I understand that we need to shake things up, but at the same time, what's something that that will stand the test of time, that you can always count on, that you can always rely upon? What relationship do you have to that? And if you don't have it, you need to pop a fucking nickel in, and it's all gonna come back. So that was just really, really beautiful. So I want to share some like health tips, so if you're feeling like in any of these areas of the body, or if you're feeling like, all of these things are speaking to you and you need some more like aliveness in the system. Number one, first of all, you got to take care of the body. Touch your body. When was the last time you were touched? And I mean touched that it was like you felt good, like you felt, like somebody touched me, somebody massaged your neck, or you actually did some self-care or self-beauty, or you spent time making a dinner and you really like made it look beautiful, and you savored like the deliciousness of the food. Or when was the last time you hugged a tree? If you're feeling really ungrounded or really in your head and nervous and anxious, or you're in your feeling nature and you're like really emotional, when was the last time you just went out in nature and you hugged a tree? Because I promise you, people may laugh at you. I don't care, because I promise you, I guarantee this will work. If you stand out there and you hug that tree, you close your eyes and you connect with the roots of that tree, you will feel the love of the mother again. You will feel that you are connected to this earth and to the love that is all around you and inside of you. Smelling good things. Of course, I'm, a big proponent of natural stuff, but that, of course, connects us to pleasure and it moves because it's air. When we breathe, it's inspiring. It's a moving element. Air is a moving element. So if there's stuckness, how can you move? Move your body, sway those hips, dance to music. Let me go to turmeric. Okay, I want to talk about turmeric. Turmeric is really special, and it's been getting a lot of great like media buzz that I think is great. I love it because turmeric is special. Turmeric is, first of all, it clears inflammation from the system, okay? But what's important to understand is how we get inflammation in the first place. Inflammation is like anytime any two things are rubbing against each other, right? There's friction that's being created. So, like in a car, we need oil to lubricate the car, right? The engine in the car. We also need oil and blood and liquid in our body to lubricate our joints or any sort of moving parts. The organs are always moving, or our brain, if our brain is like always going, anything that's moving in our body requires lubrication, you know? So movement is yang, lubrication and being still is yin. So if we've got a lot of this movement going on, a lot of busyness, if you're super busy, you know, if that mind is always going or your body's always going, you're always, you know, you're going to create heat. Okay. And so what turmeric does is it actually, first of all, it clears out that heat. Okay. Which is really important because heat, you know, can, you know, start to burn things. It dries out more liquid. It also can become a blockage, you know, to the system. But also what turmeric does that's really cool is it moves the blood. So when things like, for example, with arterial sclerosis is a great example, or, you know, high blood pressure, you know, what happens is because of all that inflammation is the linings of these tissues become hardened, because it's like, imagine something that's like constantly like, you know, it's going to hurt, you know, so you got to harden up. And it's kind of like life, you know, if you're constantly having all of this obstacles and friction and like a, you know, like hard situation and challenges, we become hardened to life, you know, and we hold on to the memory. That's what blood actually is blood is liquid consciousness. It's memory. It's, you know, so we hold on to that memory of something being hard, of something being difficult, of something being a challenge. And so what turmeric comes in and does, or any sort of blood mover, is it says it moves out those hardened areas in that scar tissue of the blood, so that number one, that memory of pain, of struggle, of challenge gets cleared out. So that's what's really great. So you have to be careful though with any blood mover, whether it's an herbal blood mover, turmeric is an herb, you know, or it's a medication. If you are on medications, because what will happen is, because as the body actually starts healing, your medications that you're taking are going to start, you're not going to need them as much. So your levels are, you're going to start feeling off because you don't really need as much of that medication because your body's actually healing. So you have to be really careful if you're going to take any of these things. Definitely you need to educate yourself or consult a physician and have an open communication with what's going on. Okay? That's turmeric. Highly recommend it for any of these sort of things that we just went over. Horseradish. Horseradish is hot. It's spicy. So if you're feeling sluggish, you know, because again, Taurus, it's fixed, it's earth. So it's like, imagine like a bunch of dirt with water sitting in it. That's like what it feels like in the body. Like it's slow and sluggish. It can get slow and sluggish. And so what you need is this life, this, you know, this a little bit of heat to move stuff through the system. And that's what horseradish does. All right, last thing, this is really easy. And I love flower essences because they're safe. They're very, very safe. They work on a more energetic level in the body, especially the emotional state. So they're very safe. Pregnant women can take it. They don't interact with any medications. They're really safe for children, for animals. Is vibrational medicine, is black cohosh. Now, black cohosh, I've seen this a lot in women's formulas that you can just buy, you know, and again, like I'm not a big proponent of just taking herbs, you know, without consulting, because it is medication. It's not as strong as medication, but you can hurt yourself or you can hurt somebody else if you're telling people to take stuff and you really don't know the energetics of what, you know, this does. But black cohosh, if you take it as a flower essences, what it does is it clears out any sort of tension in the body or abuse in the body. So abuse can manifest in different ways. Abuse can be abuse that we do to ourselves. You know, where abuse is, it's just not proper use of something. So let's say we're using our body in a certain way it's not designed to be using. So if we're like hard on ourselves and you're like, you suck, your body sucks, my back sucks, my whole body, it's a mess, you know, like that's abusive. It is, you know, because it's not the proper use of it. Or if you're working really, really hard and like you don't ever give yourself the time to rest and enjoy the fruits of your labor, you're abusing your body. You know, I mean, it takes time over time. Like anytime we're talking about the earth element, which is our body, things take time to manifest in the physical. So, what coming back to the abuse part is you can abuse yourself. You can be abused by other people or abuse other people. So whether it's physical, emotional, sexual, even, what black cohosh does is in Chinese medicine, we use this as an herb. It's called like the raising of the skulls. So what it does is it's anything like that brings death to the body. I mean, that's what abuse does, is abuse kills things, you know, like, so if you're beating yourself up, or somebody's beating you up, eventually it's going to die, you know, it's going to get killed. And I'm saying this with severity and seriousness as well, even though I tend to be lighthearted, but just to make a point, you know. It's raising the skulls, you know, so it's raising all of the things that have created abuse. You know, if we have abuse in our memory, in our family lineage. If we have abuse right now going on in our life, black cohosh comes in and it releases all of that. It brings up the skulls and it says, I release you of this bondage, of this tension, of this abuse. So that's really, really helpful to take, especially if you're feeling, you know, any sort of hardenedness, any sort of pain in the body, emotional pain, shame in the body. Okay, and I'm loving all of your messages on here. I appreciate them, Jeff. They're making me laugh. So just some questions that might be, you know, if you're having a tough time with this, you know, full moon, because full moons always bring up whatever has been hidden. And usually whatever's been hidden, you know, is like, because it's been hidden, it starts to fester and become toxic. And that's when it creates problems, you know. So is, what do you value? You know, and if you value it, if you really value it, how are you investing in it? You know, and how do you feel about what you're investing in? You know, like if you really value something, then you'll invest in it, you know. And also, you know, what is when you spend money, what's the emotional feeling that accompanies that exchange? Because Taurus is very much about money. It's about what we value, you know. So for example, let's say I buy something, but I don't really think it's worth, you know, or maybe it's not a physical thing, like you're buying into a person or into an idea or into a president or into a belief system or into a group or whatever it is, you know, you're buying into, meaning you're giving and paying attention. You're paying, whatever you're paying, okay, with your presence, with your precious life force and energy, with your love, with your money, okay? So if it's worth, if you're putting more into it than what you think it's worth, then what you're doing is you're devaluing yourself. You're saying that's worth more to me. I mean, that's worth more than I am. And Taurus says, oh no. Taurus says, I am worthy, you know? So that's not a fair or an equal exchange, right? On the other hand, you can have exchanges where we choose and we're consciously choosing to give more to that person, place, thing, whatever, because we are investing in it. So, for example, tipping people. A lot of people have interesting, like, how they feel about tipping people. And a tip is basically, you know, it's an investment. You're saying, I value your service. I value, and I want to build a relationship here so that this can last. You know, I'm investing into the future of this relationship so that you can take care of you and you can take care of me, because, and that's, you're empowering, you know, it's an act of empowerment. It's an investment. And so how do you feel about these things? How do you feel about investments? How do you feel about tipping people, spending money? Do you feel like when you give money or when you spend money that now it's lost? You know, like, oh, I gave this person money or I paid this bill and so now I don't have. Now I'm in a lack consciousness. I'm in a scarcity complex, you know? And I think that, you know, when we do experience lack in our lives, and in this country, you know, during the Great Depression, a lot of people really experienced lack. Or if we came from a family where, you know, we felt like we didn't get enough of whatever it was that we needed, we carry that with us, of this in the back of our mind. I don't have enough, you know, I don't have enough. So if, you know, so we may have like this kind of like this like neediness or this constant like pull of, you know, of not having. And so, but we have to understand is that money is an energy. So that when we give money, it's not just there and then it's gone. No, it circulates and it's going to come back to us if we allow ourselves to receive and we remind ourselves that we are worthy. So there we can eliminate the fear, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with money. It could be of our time, of our energy, of our resource. When we give of our time to somebody, it's not just gone and it's like we'll never see it again. No, that's what karma is all about. And that's what this full moon is showing us, again, because it's connected to Saturn, which is all about karma. It's saying what goes around comes around, but it's the emotion and it's the energy that you attach to that. It's your consciousness that you attach to that exchange. If you attach you know, the emotional feeling that, oh, if I give this person money, like now I don't have enough, then yeah, that's what you're going to get back. But no, if you give and you give with your fullness, with your presence, with the coming from a place of I have, you'll receive that back because you remember that you are worthy. So all of the things that I went over, these are all ways to remind us of our wealth. I mean, and that's what Earth does, because remember, it's the Earth, it's like, it's solid, it's still, it doesn't move. And when we come into that state of presence, of just not doing and of being receptive, being fully present in this moment, not worrying about tomorrow, not worrying about yesterday. We're right here, right now. This is heart space. This is what it means to be in your heart. As time becomes, obsolete. You know, what matters, again, remember Earth it's the material. What matters? What really matters? I have a bed. I have a roof over, right here, right now, I have a roof over my head. I live in America. If you don't live in America and you're watching this, you have a phone or you have a computer. You have. Don't forget that. You know, you have clothes on your body. You have food in your belly. You have to remember that and allow that remembrance of I have to grow within you. And if we each do that, we each give the blessing to ourselves and to the earth so that we can live in harmony with ourselves and with each other. Come into that Taurus. That's why the moon is exalted in Taurus, because it gives the emotions and the mind a place to root and to be at peace and to be at harmony and to be appreciated fully. If you guys have any questions, please, I'll go in here and answer any for you. You guys are feeling, I know that there's a lot that's coming up right now because there's big shifts that's happening with, especially this whole, I spoke about this in my other YouTube video, if you want to go out and check it, about Scorpio and what's going to happen with the water element. And it's a shift, like having to deal with stuff that's been hidden and it can be difficult. If you need help navigating those seas or that tornado, if it's in your mind, give me a call, reach out to somebody. You have all that you need, and there are avenues to get you there. It's really get us back here, you know, because this is all that we're really searching for. Okay. Oh, don't forget, check out that moon tonight, and just, you know, even if it's just for a few minutes, just sit there and open up a conversation with her. Ask her whatever questions. Be still and know that you are God, Goddess. And listen to the divine wisdom of our mother, of La Luna. Take in all of her beauty. She's so beautiful. She's bringing it. She's bringing it. Mwah. Bye.